Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Kaga. I know I said I'd put this up a while back, but the funny thing about my life is that, sometimes I forget when certain days are. Namely that wonderful thing called Father's Day, and there was a bunch of hullabaloo in my personal life, and I had some things I needed to take care of, yeah, because reasons. Family is a thing. It's very much a thing. So, finally getting around to off of my lazy butt. Well, really not so much lazy, just, somewhere between a minor stroke of I can get to it another day and having things to do and 110 degree heat sapping my, that is Fahrenheit by the way, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. That type of heat just sapping my desire to really do anything productive. I let this video slide a little bit longer than I should have. And, well, here we are. We're going to take care of this. So a while back, I uploaded a video that went over the brief plane specs and did a little test flight with the Kika, or the Kitsuka, depending on what you prefer. I'm going to stick with Kika because it sounds cuter. And basically we went through some of the broad strokes and we left off some actual gameplay of this aircraft in its stock configuration for another day, and today is, well, that other day. So right off the bat, we got the stock engines, the right out of the box single 30mm cannon, and of course this 500 kilogram semi-armor piercing bomb. And this is one of the first matches that I happened to fly in the Kika and see me doing this up and down, trying to avoid the wonderful and oh so powerful issues with anti-aircraft and these engines just sucking flak into them like vacuum cleaners in the sky. Just doing that up and down, getting a little bit in there, minimize the chances of them hitting me, try to maintain speed, the good stuff. Managed to drop that oh so wonderful bomb in all of its not so massive blast radius and only pick up one ground target. Kind of a shame, really. Kind of hope we could pick up a little bit more in that, considering that the whole aim of carrying that bomb in the first place was guaranteed points, guaranteed research points, and some guaranteed output. Well, that really wasn't, 100 score, 101 score is just not a lot in terms of that output in War Thunder. So got a few choices. I can either go back to base, rearm, pick up the bomb, go out, hit another target, or I can go find another air target to potentially take care of. And right now I'm just say, you know what, I got 50 rounds in the cannon. Let's go harass this Bearcat here. He's just shot down my G8N friend down there. And it looks like he's turning her tail because he's got a Kika bearing down on what was formerly his 6, an N1K of some description coming up from what is now his 6. Oh wait, no, not his 6. He turned around and addressed the N1K. We're gonna gain some altitude right now. Not really sure about engaging Bearcats in this particular aircraft. They can be a little tricky sometimes, Bearcats that is. So here we are, we got 2 Bearcats, and on my mind right now is I can potentially go help out that N1K, or I can help out the other Kika. And right now our team really needs that other Kika. So let me go ahead, we'll do a roll dive on this Bear. No, wow, it's one of the first, it's just the BR6 Bearcat. It's just standard old Bearcat. Oh wait, no, it is the 1B. Oh wow. Put a few shots in there. Try to find the final one. Just a couple critical points. Put it into the tail, and nope, nope, nope. Okay. Oh, there. Come on, turn, pitch over, roll. Pull back on the stick. Okay, here we go. Alright, now we're back at altitude. It looks like someone else grabbed the kill on that Bearcat, because we got the assist on it. Kind of a shame we did start damaging the living crap out of that guy's tail. So one would hope that we would be able to pull that one out. So we got a few choices. We're probably a little bit low on ammunition. So let's go ahead, start figuring out, okay, am I high enough? Alright. No, doesn't quite look like it. Okay. And watching out for that other Kika, because I don't really like the fact he's going off alone and get that message. Oh crap. We're now down 1 Kika. That's not good. That's really not good. B-29s in the New Guinea mission are not good, bedfellow. About the only thing that is worse is when you get into the mixed RB and you see a flotilla of like 4 or 5 Tu-4s coming over the horizon with their rapid fire potato cannons sticking out of the sides. No joke, the Tu-4s are lethal to the Kika. It's just one shell and the entire airframe will explode if it hits the right spot. And there are quite a few spots that will do that. Anyway, so we still have, I'm gonna guess we got about half ammunition loadout. I really don't remember, because admittedly it's been a while, perhaps a little too long since I recorded this, and a little bit longer since I played it, to be able to give an accurate ammo count, since I don't seem to remember how to get that to display in my replays. Kind of a shame. It kind of adds a little bit of a depth to the gameplay to see that. Right now we're seeing these B-29s, and if there was one illustration about why you want those upgraded engines after you get the 800 kilogram bomb, you know, there's a few illustrations of that, but this is definitely one of them. Just can't. The only reason I am catching up to these guys is that they're heading towards the deck in order to better allow themselves to land efficiently. If they weren't doing that, I really and truly would not be able to get up there in time. They'd just keep running around, and this thing would just keep not doing what I need it to do. At this point, okay, they're heading towards that base. Screw this. Nope. 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 Back home. Back home. Back home. I won't do anyone any good by using the fastest plane we have on a suicide mission. Yes, I know the J-7W is a good aircraft. It's got those 430mm, but you're about to find out what happens when someone is not paying attention, that, you know, there's another landing strip that they can use and don't have to land on an aircraft carrier. So, oh yeah, and speaking of aircraft carriers, there was one other video I should probably put up, because, you know, there's quite a few missions with the Kika where you will end up having to choose between running out of fuel and landing on an aircraft carrier. I believe I have a good replay of a match I had recently where I was able to actually pull that off. I know, that's actually kind of terrifying. Land this thing on an aircraft carrier when it doesn't have a tail hook. Now that's a trick. So, in comparison, this is quite a pedestrian landing in comparison to what I've just described. And, you know, it's your typical, you throttle back, go ahead, put down the gear, throw down the flaps. The landing flaps, that is. The combat flaps will work, but, you know, the amount of time this thing will want to roll on the ground before you are able to bring this thing to a stop, even with the handy handbrakes working on in the background. You want all the help you can get. And I say that because I've had one game where I, without unnecessary amounts of, I don't really want to show to you, but you can kind of see how close I got to the edge of this airfield right here. On the other side of that is basically a cliff, and let's just say that I'm a lot closer to the edge of that precipice than it actually looks like right now. And I've had one game in particular where I came in a little too hot and wound up in the drink with my Kika. Not exactly goodness here. So, alright, thank goodness for an air spawn, because this aircraft would struggle getting off that runway and getting into the air, at least in the stock configuration. And right now, alright, we've got the 500 kilogram bomb backup. We're fully loaded, fully fueled, and back up in the air, and I am scanning the sky because I just do not know where those bombers are at this time. And, well, yeah, they probably went to rearm. But do I know that? No, I don't. Let's scan the skies, let's take a look. I don't see anything, no mysterious black dots. Tracing across the sky. Nope, don't see it. Okay. So here's the plan of attack. We're gonna go ahead, go back towards that big cluster of vulnerable, squishy ground targets over there, off to our 2 o'clock on part of the mainland there, near Borsby. And we are going to bomb it and strafe it. Because right now, the fact that that J7W has spent so long trying to land on something he really should not be trying to land on is telling me that I really and truly should be playing the rest of this game in it for myself. And the reason is a little bit, it's not just him, it's the fact that this thing's stock and its ability to bring down a B-29 is limited. I've got 50 rounds to basically knock out the wing spar struts at the base of the wing where the wing meets the fuselage. And that's a tall order to do when you're coming under sustained 50 caliber fire. Alright, so, okay, here we go. Okay, looks like we got those light tanks. Alright. Decent bomb drop there. Alright. Evade some anti-aircraft fire, pull up, check the sky. Nope, don't see anything. Pull off, pull off, pull off. Alright, what do we have? What's the situation? Well, managed to pick up a little bit more in the scores. Alright, I don't see them taking off just yet. Or at least, I don't see it there. And, oh yeah, there was that battle message that our J7W friend is no more. Because he crashed. Surprise, surprise. I'd be more than willing to bet that he ended up in the drink. Okay, so that means that I've now got to potentially take on 2 B-29s or try to obliterate all of the enemy ground targets, or enough of them that I can win that way. Well, that's a tall order. That's a really tall order. Every single run's going to take a few minutes. They're going to find their way back onto target. That is my base, which is mostly dead right now. And, well, quite frankly, this is a tough one. I don't trust my ability to land a semi-armor piercing bomb into the heart of a light cruiser in RB. Because, well, reasons. But nonetheless, and I do mean nonetheless, I am hoping that I can get down on the ground and then rearmed for at least one more ground pound to get this, salvage a little bit more in the way of RP, just so that I can deal with getting those engines. And at this time I was working towards, actually no, it wasn't the engines I was working towards, it was with that 800 kilogram bomb I was working towards. Yeah, that was what I was working towards. I'm trying to remember that right now, and yeah, that is the case, because otherwise I'd be carrying this massive bomb underneath the fuselage of this aircraft that would be about the size of one of those engines. And nope, that's the 500 kilograms. So I was working towards that, those 800 kilogram bombs that you can take on this thing at the time. So we'll try to get that taken care of. We'll try to get a little bit more RP in there. Difficult, right? I know you really want to just jump up there. You try to get more for shooting them down, but these two have been flying right next to each other, so the amount of RP I stand to gain doing that, that's not as much as if I would at least get one more ground target in, you know? Which is kind of sad, but it works. Alright, scan the skies again, now that we're back in the air. And that's our lovely little 500 kilogram bomb. Alright, what are we going to do? Alright, get some altitude again. Keep scanning the skies. Where are they? They should be up in the air by now. They really, really, really should. Alright. OB-29s. Oh, super fortresses, where are you? Ground pounding Kika. Do B-29, where are you? What's your 20? Oh, there you are. Okay, we have to make that tough decision. Let's just drop the bomb, get some altitude. And reason is I saw one B-29. I saw one. Then I saw the second one. Damn it. Well, I'm committed at this point. And, you know, I don't think this is a bad exercise to go through, because the Kika, it takes some practice to boom and zoom in this aircraft, because you're used to doing it in one particular way with your propeller fighters, with like the Hayates, the Zeros, the Hiens, the whatnots. You're used to doing it one way, and really and truly that way will get you into a lot of trouble with the Kika. And I suspect it will get you into trouble with the 262, the ME 262 of German fame, but it will get you into more trouble here with the Kika than it will in those ones, just because this thing bleeds speed. a lot of speed. So it's one of those, when you need to get away, you don't pull up, you push the nose down. It sounds weird, because, you know, most aircraft in the game that you're familiar with is when you talk about boom and zoom, you talk about for going up from in the stratosphere, coming down, taking a few pot shots, pulling up, using that speed to get back in the altitude, and then if you haven't killed them, you can reset, basically, get back in the fight. And right now you're seeing me try to do that with these B-29s. And I'll admit, it's limited success. It is limited success. Though, definitely, having the stock engines is not helping here. At all. It is not helping. Just not able to keep up the speed here, and you can see me starting to figure out that this whole low approach, come in, put in the shots, pull in, pull out. Only thing that was not perfect about that one was I leveled out when I came to that top of that. I should have just boomed down again. But I make the mistakes, so you don't have to. At the very least, we cause one of them to perhaps accelerate his bomb drop to the point where he got it just off the carrier we're trying to protect. But as you can see, his friend there, right behind him, finishes the job. And, well, now it's just a matter of time. Literally. We get in a few parting shots, pull away, because their match is about to end, and, well, hey, I got a few shots in there, did some ground pounding. I'm happy with that. Well, I know this wasn't the most exciting Kika replay you've ever seen, but I do hope that it was insightful in how you can take your stock Kika and make it not stock. Because this thing, when it's stock, struggles massively with dealing or playing against certain types of propeller aircraft. The challenges of getting used to the airframe are many, and quite frankly, in terms of its own performance, it is underwhelming stock. It's okay once you reach certain upgrades, and as of the recording of this video, I do have it so that I have the Otsu modification, and I'm working on one of the other ones. I think it was the wing repair that I'm working on now. Have to double check, but expect to hear a little bit more about that in the next episode of the Kika Chronicles. Coming sometime soon. I don't know exactly when. It depends on when I get better footage for this. Anyway, thank you for having bared with me for about 25 minutes at this point. It's a little shorter than that. But anyway, thank you. If you have any experience with early jets, or the Kika itself, or similar variants in other tech trees, please go ahead, share your experience. Is this painful grind limited only to the Kika, or is it something that's common to all early jets? And I don't mean just because you get hit with the F2H virus or anything like that. I mean it just because that's just the way this experience has been with the Kika. It's been quite the experience. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider giving a like if you did. And I hope to see you around the channel, as I hope to bring up and revive more regular content. Expect some World of Warships and some World of Tanks videos to come. I think I have 1 or 2 videos from my hiatus that I should get around to publishing at some point here. Expect those sometime. I don't know when. Anyway, this is Kaga signing off. Thank you and have a good day.